at Tableau? Okay. So basically, we learned how to create a chart and also we learned how to create a dashboard. I'm left with one more topic, which is story point. Okay. So let me explain what is story point and how to create a story thing in a Tableau. And then I'll discuss about the important topics that you have to prepare for interview, how to present your project, how to explain your project. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. Even you people can open a Tableau public. And just open a file, Superstore Sales. And just load the data. Done loading data. Okay. So basically, we learned when I say dashboard, dashboard is something which includes everything like a title, the different graphs, KPIs, and we add a slicers. So just by interacting with the slicers, we can interact with the entire dashboard, right? The next important thing, we have a concept called as a story point. So when I say story point, you can actually build a stories. Let's say, for example, before that, we need to plot few graphs. We'll just plot it. First graph, let's plot category-wise sales. Already you know. So double click on category, double click on sales. We need some graphs. So let's plot that first. Okay. So I'm just making it entire view. Category on top of a label, sales on top of a label. So I'll just label it as category wise sales. Plot this graph. Done. Similarly, I'll find subcategory wise sales. I'll just duplicate the sheet. Please plot subcategory wise sales. Done. The same way you can drive subcategory wise profit. Done. Then we'll find region wise sales with respect to every category. Region wise sales with respect to every category. Region wise sales with respect to every category. Same thing, if you want to do it for a profit, you can duplicate the sheet. And select a profit. Show region wise profit with respect to every category. Okay. Then you can plot year wise sales. Plot a line chart. What if you want the same year-wise sales with respect to different category? You can try with different region as well. I'll select a category. Same way, do it for profit. Done. We'll find year-wise profit. If you want year-wise profit with respect to different category, you can just add a category. Okay. Then we'll perform year-wise sales and profit. Year-wise sales and profit. Select sales, select profit, and select an order date. Done. If you want, you can also plot geographical map. Select state, sales, and you have to do the settings like edit location. So when it's by default, it will be India. So you have to change it to United States because our data is related to United States. One second approach, you can try. So this is state-wise sales. Same way you can also plot it for profit as well. Select the state, select the profit, and you can drag profit on top of a size. If you want this, you can just use it. Yeah. So one is state-wise sales. Other one is state-wise profit. Yeah. Hope it's clear. If you want, you can create table as well. Subcategory wise sales, profit, quantity. And let's create year-wise, region-wise sales using field map. Year, region, and sales. So it's year-wise, region-wise sales. Same way you can do it for profit as well. Instead of sales, you can just select a profit. So year-wise, region-wise profit. Still, if you want to add our category, you can try. You can try with different combinations. And try with different combinations. Okay. So now at the bottom, you can see a story point, right? So just click on it. The third option is a story point where you can create a stories. So basically what happens when I say dashboard, you cannot put all multiple graphs together in one single shot because the dashboard becomes like too high, okay, with so many graphs and fitting them in one single sheet might definitely be difficult. Even though if you try to create a multiple graphs, multiple dashboards, but still it takes unlimited graphs. Overloading your dashboards with multiple graphs doesn't make sense. So to overcome this, we have a story point. Let's say one story you can build related to sales, one story you can build related to profit, and you can add all the graphs that basically tells an information related to sales or a profit. So now simple, this is a story point, okay? This is how it looks like. If you want, you can adjust the size. You can try increasing height and width so that it fits to a full page, okay? I'm just fitting to the page here. All right. Now simple. You have first sheet right here. So what you can do, here you can see an option like a blank. So keep adding a blank so that you get a multiple sheets. Okay. So one by one, start picking one by one sheet and try adding your sheets. That's it. Second one, second sheet. Third one, third sheet. Move to each caption and keep adding a sheet. Getting? Like this. Like this, you add multiple sheets. Okay. You can see here, when you drag any sheets to your story point, basically it doesn't show a caption. I mean, the title is not shown, but you can add a caption here. You know, right, what's happening in each graph. So you can give a caption like this, category wise sales. Okay, and this is subcategory wise sales. And this is subcategory wise profit. This is region wise sales worth each category. Okay, and this is region wise profit worth each category. This is year-wise sales. This is year-wise sales, but each category. This is year-wise profit. This is year-wise profit with each category. This is year-wise sales and profit. Okay, and this is state-wise sales. This is state-wise profit. And then we created a table. Subcategory wise sales, profit, as well as a quantity. This is year-wise, region-wise sales. This is year-wise, region-wise profit. So this is how you add a caption, so that when people are interested in something, they can look into a caption and they can select and they can understand like what's happening. Right? Then okay, this is one way of adding it. Okay, like you can give a captions. You can do format as well. Let's say when people are interested in category wise sales, they can click on it and they can understand. What if you want to write an insights? So basically in our dashboards, we cannot write an insights. And also when we were creating graphs in our sheets, we were not able to write our insights. But in a story point, since we are building a story, obviously along with plotting a graph, there should be an insights related to that, right? When someone is looking into it, yeah, definitely they should understand what's happening in a graph. Along with that, if we write a note of like kind of insights, then it will be really useful for someone to understand like what exactly is happening. So if you want to add insights to this every page, you can just click on this option, drag to add text. Drag it, and you can write insights. Okay. You can write insights. So what is the insights? According to this, like clearly technology related products are doing good compared to furniture and office supplies, right? You can just write insights like technology related products are given highest sales compared to furniture and office supplies. Yes. So you can add in insights like this. If you want to format, you can go and you can give a shading as well. Like this, you can add in insights. Okay, you can try adding for all the graphs, like where it's increasing, where it's decreasing. That's how you write an insight. Understood how to write an insight? Clear? Done? Let's say you don't want a captions. You want some other options. Just go to our layout. Okay. If you have so many story points and if you don't want to write the caption for them, so what you can do, you can also use numbers so that people can just move through numbers like this. Okay. Let's say you don't want numbers, you want a dots. You can try with this. Moving arrows, like every dot moves. And then what if you don't want dots, just an arrows if you want? You can use this option. So people can just click on a forward arrow so that it moves to the furthest touch. Okay, so this is how you're gonna build a story. Hope it's clear. And you can also label it Superstore Sales Analysis. It would be good if you write insights to them. Insights to each graph regarding what's happening. So accordingly, people can understand each graph. Any questions? This is how you create a story point. Got it? So now you can save it to us, Tableau Public, save as. So it will be online. You'll be publishing it online. If you want to save it in a local system, then instead of Tableau Public, you have to use a Tableau Desktop. Okay. It's always good to go with the caption boxes because you'll be mentioning like what's happening. Otherwise, people don't understand, right? Unless and until you give a title. So it's always good to give a caption box, and you can also format this as well. Right click on it. Not much format you have, I guess. Clear? Okay. I'll just take a break and then I'll discuss how to prepare for interview, how to present your project. And if you have any queries to me, you can ask. Okay. Just a minute. Take a break and then we'll catch up. Hey guys, you people are back. Okay. So yeah. So far almost from past 3 months, you have learned a different skills, right? So I'll just tell you like what are the different opportunities you have, what skills you have to master, and how to prepare for projects and how to customize your resume as well. Okay. So basically, I would say that you have three different options. The first option that you have is you can become a data analyst. First, let me explain the role and also like what skills important, what you have to prepare. So when I say analyst, data analyst especially, so you have a different roles there, finance analyst, sales analyst, HR analyst, the different domain technology analyst, something like that. So when I say data analyst, in this case, the major role is you'll be working on collecting, cleaning, and analyzing data. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. It's very simple. For every organization, data analyst role is very much important. And these employers plays a major role in explaining what's happening in a business. Okay, what they do, they collect data regarding like what had happened so far, and they clean it, and then they try to analyze the data. So the major focus is like analyzing data. This role is suitable for people who don't like a coding because when I say skills, it requires a very minimal skills related to a Python. I would say basic Python. Okay, you should know basic Python. That's the first thing. Second thing, it's good that if you have a basic knowledge of a libraries as well, because which helps you in data cleaning. Okay. So for data cleaning, you can just use a Python libraries, or I would say for performing an EDA, basic EDA, you should know Python libraries, NumPy, Panda, Seaborn, Matplotlib. And then very important skill is you should have a knowledge of Excel. Through Excel, you can clean data, you can plot different graphs, you can perform a different visualization. Most analysis could be done with the help of an Excel without coding, just by selecting things or by drag drop. So by doing all those, you can do the analysis. And the fourth important skill they expect is a SQL. A very good knowledge of SQL and writing SQL queries for fetching data, for analyzing data is very much important. And fifth important thing, visualization tools, either of them, Tableau or a Power BI. So I have taught you Tableau. If you are free, whenever you have a time, you can also try exploring a Power BI. That's so interesting. You can try. Okay, sixth important thing, you should have a little bit of statistical knowledge as well. Basic stats, I would say. So I will suggest you one site for statistics. So you can refer to that. Okay. And then one more skill is very important skill, communication. Communication and presentation skills. Because you're the one who is responsible for analyzing data, right? So you should understand what's happening in data, where it's going wrong, where it's doing really good, You have to communicate and you have to present like what analysis you have done. The major skills that you have to focus for data analyst is Excel, SQL, Power BI or a Tableau, statistics, and communication skills. Python basics, it's just an optional. Understood? Is it clear? You need a very good communication and a presentation skill. If you are really good at these skills, Excel, SQL, Tableau especially, and good at explaining things, you are good to go. Okay, for this, you can showcase a project such as you can show project on Excel, you can create Excel dashboard, you can showcase Python 1 EDA project, you can show one Tableau or Power BI project. So especially these three projects, and also if you want, take one data and write SQL queries. You can also showcase a SQL project as well. So try adding these projects in your resume. Always remember, whenever you are preparing for different job roles, when you are applying for a different job roles, customize your resumes according to that. Don't use same resume for all the job profiles. Okay, keep it separately. One for data analyst, one for data science, one for AI/ML engineer role. Clear? Understood? Who can become a data analyst? So accordingly, plan, learn skills, and do the projects and upload it in your, mention that in your resume. Okay, and then, so LinkedIn optimization. So if you are searching for a data analyst role, make sure you all keep your profiles open to work and you just mention for which roles you are open. If you are open for data analyst role, you can mention that. Okay, even in our resume, highlight skills and projects related to data analysis. Okay. And one more important thing, always try to, like, before you apply for a job, just see that profile, what job description they have mentioned. Take those keywords and try to mention in your resume. Because when you apply for it, usually they'll have an ATS system, okay, which selects a resumes based on a scoring. So if there are certain matching skills, only then your resume gets accepted. Many people say, I keep applying, but my resume is not getting accepted. It's getting rejected. It's not even reaching your manager. Just at 8 years level itself, it's getting rejected. Once you sit in front of an manager for an interview, you can easily clear it. So getting there is like a different thing or a difficult thing. Okay, understood who can become a data analyst. Accordingly, plan and prepare. So the next opportunity that you have is data scientist. So when I say data scientist, so these people focus on, again, even they work on analyzing, cleaning, and predicting models or building models to make a predictions. Again, see, if you are planning for data analyst, anyhow, it's an entry level. Easily you can grab an opportunity, easily you can get a job. But still, again, after once you start, working as a data analyst, again, you have to think, okay, I have to switch to a data science. So my suggestion is, since you people are preparing, always go with a data science job itself. Okay, because that's a scope and you can explore a lot there. Again, if you go for a data analyst, we know that many of the tasks could be done by AI. We don't know like how long the life of data analyst. Even people who work as a data analyst has to start switching for a data science roles. Again, two things, like studying for that and this. Instead of that, you can directly focus on data science jobs itself. Okay. So they majorly focus on analyzing data, cleaning. Along with that, they try to build the models to make up predictions. Okay, when it comes to a data scientist, as I always say, since you are a beginner, obviously you'll have a different sets of rounds. And that to our college students, the placements will happen, the companies will come. Usually we know in India, the traditional system is like first like aptitude round will be there and then Python, SQL round. After that, you will have a technical round related to machine learning like that. Okay. So when it comes to our skills, you should be very serious about Python. So Python is super important. I know we all live in a world of AI, but still many companies test how good you are at writing a logic. As I said, please keep practicing the most frequently asked interview questions from a lead code, or just ask your ChatGPT or a Claude AI. It gives you a set of questions. Keep practicing daily, at least 10 or 20 questions. You people are free now. Not just practicing. After you practice, make sure do you remember that? Can you solve those questions regularly? Same goes with aptitude as well. Just ask most frequently asked questions. Because many people who sets an interview or who creates a question bank, obviously they refer to an AI tool. Okay. And second important thing, obviously understanding Python libraries is very much important. You need not put much effort here. Just learning one time and brushing up regularly would make a better sense. So you have a different libraries, NumPy, Seaborn, sorry, Pandas. Some companies can give you assignments to clean a data using Pandas. Okay, perform an EDA or model building. So in that cases, having a knowledge of all these important, then they can ask you questions related to certain functions or methods. Why we use group by, why we use an apply function, how do we drop a column? Okay. And then for performing visualization, Matplotlib. You can focus on these 4 libraries along with that EDA project. Okay. Yeah. Next important skill. I don't know whether you have learned statistics or not. Stats plays a very important role. Before that, I would say SQL is important because many college placement rounds will include a SQL. Just like your Python. Just ask like most frequently asked SQL questions. Focus more on our window functions. Window functions, joins. So these questions plays a very important role. Keep practicing the most frequently asked interview questions regularly, 20 questions every day. More you practice, better you become. Without practicing, definitely it's difficult for you to clear the interview rounds. Okay. And the fourth important thing, obviously statistics. I know statistics probably you might have studied in your curriculum. If not, I'll just give one site called as a Statology. Just go and search for a Statology in a browser. You have a very good content related to us statistics. You can refer to that. Just focus on types of statistics like descriptive and inferential. And then you have measure of central tendency. Like mean, median, mode. Okay, and then we have measure of dispersion, range, IQR, standard deviation. Okay, variance, all these comes under a dispersion. You can also have a look into quantiles and percentiles. Quartiles or percentiles. So different methods to handle outliers already you have studied. And have a look into distributions. Normal distribution, what is standard normal distribution, something like that. And you have a concept called as a central limit theorem. Usually people ask this. And also have a look into inferential statistics, wherein you have a hypothesis testing. Very important concept. hypothesis testing, assuming something and trying to prove that whether it's true or false. Okay, that's an hypothesis testing. And final one, we have a concept called as an A/B testing. So when I say A/B testing, it's very simple. Let's say, for example, it's like kind of experimenting. Sometimes a single website appear in a two different formats, wherein people are doing a A/B testing. They're trying to compare two different versions, like which version people are liking a more. Okay, so understanding all these statistical terms plays a very important role. This is a website, so please have a look into it. It has a very good examples, explanations related to statistical concepts. So refer to that and please be well prepared for a statistics if you're looking for a data science rules. Super important. Okay. Yeah. After statistics, what next skill? So obviously, next important skill is machine learning. When I say machine learning, it plays a very important role. Okay. When it comes to data science role, the first round can be a aptitude round wherein they do a screening because a lot of people will be applying. They have to screen out, right? The first level of filtering. Um, Usually happens with first level of interview, and the second level will be like Python. Third level will be like SQL testing, or else they can combine the both. Okay. And then next important skill, round will be technical skills wherein people test on your machine learning concepts. So when I say machine learning, I've taught so many things so far. So based on what you have learned, don't mug up answers. First thing, don't mug up answers. Understand concept. Whenever you learn something, always learn an habit of validating yourself. Like, can I explain this concept? At least for 2 to 3 minutes. Any topic that you learn, validate yourself. Can I explain this concept in 2 to 3 minutes? Just try that. Okay, so obviously, when it comes to a machine learning, you can get questions on what is ML, types of ML, examples, applications. Very important question. People can ask difference between ML versus deep learning versus NLP versus generative AI, and how they are different from artificial intelligence. So all this domain comes under AI itself. And then regression versus classification. And then starts different questions on each algorithm. When you want to prepare, I'll show you the easiest way. Instead of referring to some websites or something, just use a ChatGPT or something else, some AI tool, and start asking what are the possible questions I can get on a linear regression. It gives you all possible questions along with an answer. Understand, learn, practice. Okay, same goes with a logistic regression. How it works, what is it, applications, advantage, disadvantages, what assumptions it makes, what are the different metrics we use, why those metrics, right? All the possible questions usually an AI tool can give you. You can prepare accordingly. First, prepare and make a list of it. And whenever you're free, just keep brushing up, keep reading things, keep learning things. That's how you become good. Because in these things, nothing complex can be asked. Based on what you learned, only be asked. Okay. If you're not prepared, if you're not good at the fundamentals, definitely people don't take you. And then we have a KNN. So we have SVM. And then we have decision tree, entropy, Gini index. We have random forest, gradient boosting, XGBoost, And finally, we learned k-means. Brush up all these concepts like whatever has been taught. So it will be fixed, nothing changes. Try to understand it in a simple way so that you can explain those concepts in a very simple way. You need not struggle in interview. Okay. This is one thing. Till here, you have to prepare when it comes to a data scientist. And the very important thing, projects. When it comes to a project, so make sure you add a regression project. Add one classification project. You can add one EDA project. And you can add one clustering project. Okay, 4 different projects in your resume if you're aspiring to become a data scientist. Understood? And same way, highlight on skills, whatever you studied as a part of this data science in your LinkedIn, and just mention open to data science roles and also add the skills. Okay, clear? Next important one. If you are looking for like more advanced AI ML engineer role, or maybe NLP engineer or Gen AI engineer role. So along with all the skills that I have listed above, okay, you should know Python and its libraries. You should know SQL, statistics, machine learning. Additionally, you should have a knowledge of deep learning. When I say deep learning, you should know complete details of ANN, different layers, forward propagation, backward propagation. What are weights? How do we update it? What are activation functions? What are the different optimizers we have? Okay. And also we have a CNN. What is convoluted neural network? How it's different from ANN? How convolution process takes? What is pooling? What is padding? The different layers in convolution neural network. Understood. That's a one important thing. Second thing, coming to an NLP. So when it comes to an NLP, data cleaning plays a very important role. So you should know all the data cleaning steps. They're all like interview perspective concepts. So it can be using NLTK. You need not remember much of code and all, but theoretical concept like how they work, all those things important. Data cleaning using either NLTK or spacing. And then I have taught you NIBase, RNN, LSTM, and also GRU. How they are different. And if you have done projects related to that, you should know like what's happening in every layer or every step. Okay. Next important thing coming to generative AI. So when it comes to generative AI, so it starts with what is Gen AI, how it's different from actual ML. What are LLMs, how they work. Then very important thing, prompt engineering. Different types that I have explained, prompt engineering plays a very important role. Major questions you can get on prompt engineering as well. Different types of prompts. The fourth important one, LLM APIs. You should know how to use an APIs. Fifth important thing, LangChain. the different components of a line chain. Along with that, final one, RAG. So how RAG works, RAG architecture, the different steps I have explained now. So understanding that RAG architecture is super important. How can we reduce hallucination? What is temperature? What is chunking? Okay, what is chunking? What is embedding? What is vector database or vector store? Different types of vector databases to store those embedding values. Yeah, so understanding all these things plays a very important role. Final one, you have learned about an agentic AI automation using n8n. So these are the complete package that you have to know if you're aspiring to become an AI ML engineer. Okay. And coming to our projects. So now you have learned what you will do after today. You'll just enjoy and you just chill. Prepare for interview questions. Along with that, keep exploring more on a generative AI. Keep doing different projects. Keep building different n8n workflows. Keep doing different ML projects. Keep doing different deep learning or an NLP projects. Showcase more projects. Okay. So one project on ML, one project on deep learning, computer, that's what, image classification, something. One on NLP, sentiment analysis or email classification. One on GenAI. You can show multi-PDF chatbot or SQL AI agent analysis. And one more, you can add n8n workflow as well. 5 different projects. Okay. So this is how you prepare according to the different job roles. Understood? Is it clear so far? So key points, very important thing. Prepare resume according to the job description. Or else it's always good to include all the skills of your AI ML engineer. So it suits for all. Okay, anyhow, it suits for all. Include everything. This is always the best approach as of now, according to the current market. Go with this AI ML engineer skills, concepts, projects. Okay. Prepare resume always according to job description. Don't apply for experienced ones. Always apply for fresher jobs. And one more important thing, create profile on Naukri. You have Naukri accounts with you. It's not just creating one time. When you create account on Naukri, you have to keep updating daily. Update daily, same statement, delete and write it again so that your profile will be up to date. The profiles which are up to date will get more interview calls. Okay, daily the same skill you remove and add the same skill, or remove your name and add your name again so that the profile gets updated. Something has to be done so that every day your profile should be updated. Here, that's related to Naukri. And third important thing, be active on LinkedIn. When I say be active on LinkedIn, build connections. Build connections, one thing. Second thing, post your projects. I don't know how many of them are posting. And then you can message to the people regarding your profile or any openings. A polite message, not normal chit chat, professional messages. regarding job openings or for referral. Okay, it should be professional message. Then prepare regularly for interviews. It's not preparing one day and or else like feeling okay, let me prepare once I get a call. No. Once you get a call, like you'll be frustrated. You cannot study everything one day before. So prepare regularly, use ChatGPT like your mentor, ask a questions. So understand the concepts and make a note somewhere so that before an interview, you can just brush up the concepts and you can go and sit for an interview. Always try understanding concepts in a simple way so you can easily explain them. Okay, prepare regularly for interviews. And very important thing, most of the people doing all these things, people fail in explaining projects. When it comes to a project, you have done a project. First, you people have to learn how to explain a project. How do you explain your project? And before that, make sure your project is up to date. Like everything should be updated properly, insights, headings, conclusion. Everything should be that. Okay. So now the question is how to explain a ML project or any project. How do you explain? Always try explaining any project using a star schema. You know what a star schema? You know what is star schema? So when I say star schema, star stands for four things. S stands for situation. T stands for task. A stands for action. R stands for result or an outcome. So with the star schema, like how do you explain your project? First one, when I say star, S comes for situation. Situation or a context. See, when it comes to a project explanation, it's not just reading out whatever you have done in your project. People should feel like, okay, I should listen to your project, not like I should run away from listening. Okay, so when I say situation, first thing, always try to describe the problem statement and the background that you're trying to solve. Okay, try to describe the problem and background. So how do you explain it? So when it comes to a situation, always try explaining what is the business problem, what is the business or what is the real world challenge that we are trying to solve. Second thing, always explain why it's important or like why was it important. Don't always tell about like what you are trying to do. Always try like why you are doing that as well. That serves a purpose, right? Understood? Always describe what you are doing. Always learn, prepare well, before you go for an interview itself. Many people who give a speech, many people who talk in front of a crowd, it's not that, they randomly speak to them. They get prepared. They spend the time, they understand what important points I have to tell. Only with a good preparation, people can present it well. Even me, when I come to your class, without preparation, I cannot speak. If I'm teaching you something without preparation, obviously it will be like a random. May not connect the dots. When I'm well prepared, I can deliver what I want to say in a proper manner. Same goes with you as well. If you feel like I have done a project, I can manage, it's right in front of an interviewer. No. Practice first. Prepare a points what you have to say and deliver according to it. And also ask ChatGPT or an other AI tools what possible questions I can get from an interviewer when I explain this project. Okay, accordingly, you try preparing. First thing, you explain a situation. And second important thing, task. You do a lot of things, right? Like a task in the sense like objective. So try explaining a specific goal in a project. Explain specific goal, like what are you trying to achieve? First, you will explain what was the business problem, why it's important, why we need to build that particular project. And then you're going to explain specific goal in a project. What are we trying to achieve here? What are you responsible for? Getting explain what are we trying to achieve. That's a task. And then action, very important thing. So in order to achieve, what did you perform? What did you do? This is the most important part that you have to speak when it comes to explaining machine learning. Okay, just talk about like what you have done so far. Talk about what you have done in your project. Such as, no need to explain basics and all like data.shape, data.head. No, always start saying first thing we perform the basic checks to understand like what exactly is happening in our data. No need to read out the line by line code, not required. Just tell in high level like what are the different basic checks you performed in order to understand. We used a shape in order to find number of rows and columns. Head tail for displaying the first few rows. Describe for understanding the statistical analysis. Right? And then next important thing, just keep it for 1 or 2 minutes. Basic checks. 1 minute is enough. And then the major thing that you have to speak about is data collection and pre-processing. As of now, we are using just an CSV file. You need not speak about our data collection. You can focus more on data pre-processing. So how did you clean your data? What steps you took? Okay, what were the challenges? Always try mentioning what are the challenges that you faced while doing your project. That makes more sense. Okay, that's one thing. And then the different feature engineering tasks that you performed, handling outliers, encoding, scaling. Why did you use that particular scaling method? Okay, why particular encoding method you have used? If it's a gender column, male and female, we are using one hot encoding because we have to give equal importance. If it's like S, no, S should be given one priority, or no should be given a zero priority. We just go with a label encoder. Manual encoder, when categories has importance for a target, we just go with a manual encoding or a target encoding based on the graphical representation or a comparison. Okay, final thing, model selection. I know you learned many models, but that challenging thing is building model is simple, as I always say, just 4 lines of code. Evaluating is simple. But people ask you, why did you choose that model? Anyhow, you are choosing all the models because you learned everything. But still, why SVM? Why decision tree? Why random forest? Why logistic is giving less performance? Why KNN is giving a less performance? So how to overcome that? Why decision tree is overfitting? How do you overcome? Why XGBoost is like exceptional compared to all other models? Understanding? And then metrics. Obviously, you use all metrics, but you should tell the importance of which metric is doing good. When it comes to medical, I said use recall. When it comes to business, use a precision. Which metric score you're considering? If it's an imbalanced, how do you balance it? Right? So finally, you do a conclusion. And if you are, what did you achieve overall? So action, like you just tell all these things. These are the actions that you took. And then finally, the final star schema is basically the result. When I say result, final conclusion. So what did you achieve by doing all these projects? Right? Show the impact with numbers if possible. Don't say just like XGBoost is doing good. If XGBoost is doing good, tell that in terms of numbers, which metric is doing good there. Okay. Show impact with numbers, such as telling which model is good and what is the highest performance that a model is showing, something like that. And business impact, how it's helping business in solving certain challenges, how it's impacting the business, how the build model would help business in enhancing their performance. Getting, you can see in a result like final model, like whichever model you pick, what is the F1 score? What is the recall? What is the precision? What is the accuracy? You can highlight on numbers so people can understand what exactly is happening. And finally, saving a model and then you'll be doing a deployment and you can also explain that part. So this is how you always explain your project. Keep it concise, keep it for less than 5 minutes. Focus more on action and a result. Okay, this is how you're gonna explain a project. Any questions? All good, understood? So your journey will not stop here. So from tomorrow, you should start exploring different things based on what you have done. Okay. So keep doing different projects, keep exploring because now you have understood like how to do things. So now you should have like if you want to get into this domain, you should have a research mind. Like you should be researching things, you should be exploring things, you should be doing different projects. It's all about exploring and doing. Only that exploring, researching would keep you live in a job. Otherwise, you feel it boring. If you're not upgrading, so definitely it's hard to survive in the market. Clear? Understood? I hope everything is clear. So follow the method, whatever I had said, and accordingly do things. First, prepare for all the interview questions and then start applying for the jobs. And along with learning, what is important is be confident. Don't show your nervousness in front of others. You'll be nervous only when you don't know something. When you know something, you should be confident. That's the reason I say before you go, practice. Explain to yourself. That builds a confidence, that improves your communication, that makes you like, okay, I can explain it. Okay, most companies looks for how confidently you can explain, how eager you are to learn something, how much exploring mind you have. All these things they check along with your theoretical knowledge as well as your project skills. Okay, these are the important things that you have to keep in mind. I hope it's clear. Any questions you can ask? Otherwise, let's wrap it up. No questions? Okay, it was nice teaching you people over the past few months. All the best for your future. The only thing matters is how well you prepare, how well you present. So everything is in your hand. Nobody can push you forward. So you have to push yourself forward, learn skills, be confident, keep practicing. Don't sit for long hours. Sit for at least 1 hour, study something. What you study should be recalled tomorrow. That's how the cycle repeats and you do well in our interviews. All the best. Thank you.